Ladies and gentlemen, coming up in this portion of our program, Cokie Roberts and Ambassador Alfred Moses will help us honor two more of the area's best business leaders as the Washington Business Hall of Fame continues right now. Here again is your host from Fox News, Mr. Brett Baer.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully you're enjoying your meal. We're going to continue throughout the meal. Please continue to enjoy it. Before we conclude with our final two induction ceremonies, we would like to find out who won tonight's big giveaway. I feel like we should have a drum roll or something. Thank you again for, oh, I do have a drum roll. Omega World Travel, Delta Airlines, Air France, and Hilton Worldwide. Geriatu, are you here? No, you're going to pick it? Okay, you're going to pick. What's your name? Natalia. All these names. Geriatu, Natalia. Natalia is going to help pick the card. Okay, Natalia, pick the card. Nadia Harrington. Nadia Harrington? Someone's screaming back there. That must be Nadia. Or someone had a bad roll. Nadia, congratulations. You don't have to come up here. Junior Achievement will get you. They'll get to you. Stay right there. Congratulations. Wow, what a prize. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, for our fourth presentation of this evening, please give a warm welcome to Cokie Roberts, political commentator with ABC News, and Miss Zakia Jean.
Playground that Tommy Boggs is a heavy hitter, lobbyist, and that he can make anything happen.
There you go.
I wonder if he can get pizza on the lunch menu 5 days a week. Here to give us the scoop on this K-Street Insider is his sister, Cokie Roberts.
I asked Zakia if she would say nice things about her big brother, and she said no. But Zakia Brett thinks he's done some reporting. I've done some reporting. Zakia has been the student of the week for 3 weeks. And she's in a financial literacy class, which is what Junior Achievement does. And it is such a treat to be here with these wonderful kids and doing the terrific work, supporting the terrific work of Junior Achievement. In recent years, more than 500,000 kids in the Washington area have been helped by Junior Achievement. So it is a terrific thing. And now I'm going to talk about my brother. Everybody else got somebody nice to talk about them. And my poor brother gets his little sister. The only thing worse for him would have been Steny Hoyer. Steny was his classmate in college or law school. My mother is here. It wouldn't have been good. So he's better off with his little sister. But the truth is, that this is an appropriate award for Tommy because Junior Achievement is all about mentoring. And Tommy does believe strongly in mentoring. He didn't believe in it for me, but he does believe in it for people that he works with very, very strongly. And he's always been very concerned that the young people in his law firm have a good mentor, and he's paid actually particular attention to the young African American lawyers in his firm to make sure that they have excellent mentoring. So it is appropriate that he should be getting an award here that also celebrates junior achievement. So that, plus his mentoring, plus his incredibly hard work, is how he has grown a highly successful business. You know, we don't tend to think of law firms as business, or I guess they do, but we don't. And when he went there almost 47 years ago, you could count the number of employees on two hands, and now there are about 1,200 people in the area working for him. So he is not only a good businessman, so worthy of this award, but Tommy is a great citizen. He has been fabulous in his contributions to the city and the country and the society. He has dedicated his time and the firm's time and all of his partners' time who are here tonight to do good deeds. And he's also a good person. It's really hard for a sister to say that, but it's true. He is a good person, and many people have benefited from his private generosity, I'm sure, in this room tonight. But the part that I'm really interested in is that I'm supposed to now introduce to you a video that's supposed to be the story of his life. Now, we have 4 generations here at our table. We have my mother, Tommy and me, Tommy's daughter Elizabeth and her husband Michael, and Tommy's grandson Andrew. So we really kind of know his life. And we suspect that in this video, he's an only child. I mean, it's just a guess. But so let's see it. Let's see the video on Tommy.
Growing up in a political family, you learn how people handle themselves and what they stand for. You glean a lot from leaders as a kid growing up. Well, my role models as I got older were basically the political figures that I've been so exposed to. My older sister Barbara used to say if we go to our friends' houses, you basically see antiques and marvelous art on the walls. You come to our house and our specialties are Sam Rayburn, Jack Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, the politicians of the city were our collectibles. And all of them were impressive to me. I'm basically a triple Hoya. It's Georgetown Prep, Georgetown College, and Georgetown Law School. So I think I got very good training from Jesuits. They teach you a lot about organizational skills and thinking, part of your abilities. Always knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I had interviewed most of the major Washington law firms and had gotten significant offers from a couple of them. Decided it'd be more fun to join a firm that was just starting. Turned out to be a great decision because instead of being part of a great big law firm, we have built a big law firm. That's kind of more fun. I'm proud of the firm. I mean, it's our 50th year anniversary. I mean, we now have some of the brightest, best lawyers in the world, and I'm very proud of that. Accomplishment that first sort of put me on the map as a lobbyist was representing Chrysler in their first bailout. And we wanted to save Chrysler, and Chrysler paid the money back early, and the government made a big success fee out of it. The other accomplishment, a coalition composed of the airlines and the trial lawyers, and drafted a victims relief bill for the victims of 9/11. The law is still a game of competition, and not just competition with other law firms, competition within this law firm, where you have these very, very bright young lawyers coming up who are every bit as bright and smart as the senior partners are, and keeps you motivated, keeps you on your toes. We're in a different world in terms of technology, but I do think that focus is still probably one of the most important disciplines that young people should aspire to. If you don't stay focused and start going all sorts of different directions, you'll fall.
Well, hello. Kia's got my stick, which is a good job for her. She's been a marvelous assistant to me tonight. And when the staff said, do you have prepared remarks? I said, no, it depends on what Koki says. But let me say to Bob Pincus, our chairman, thank you very much for the evening and for the award. It's very nice to have my basic whole family here tonight, which is an unusual event for us, to have them all gathered around one table in one room, which is very, very nice for me. It's also incredibly nice for me to have my law firm and my partners and my assistants here tonight, many of whom are here, many of whom have been with me, have been with us for a long, long time. It's kind of a nostalgic memory for me because of our three hosts tonight. The one host, the Washingtonian, when Joe Brand and I, who's my partner who's here tonight, joined Patton Boggs almost 47 years ago. And as Koki said, we just celebrated our 50th anniversary in October. Let me talk about that for a minute. We celebrate our 5th anniversary, and if you read the National American Law Journal ratings of law firms in terms of employees and people and revenues, we're somewhere in the 70s of the biggest law firms in the United States. But we're the 20th firm under their ratings in pro bono activity. So while we're and I have to tell you, most of that has been Washington underprivileged people. And we have done a lot, and we will continue to do a lot, because what it's done for us as a law firm is there's an outfit called Voight, which some of you know if you're in the professional services business, which sort of rates professional service firms. We are ranked as the 4th best place to work in Washington. Primarily, I think, because of the pro bono work we do. So it's got a lot of benefits to the fact that, we give it away, but it actually helps us a lot in terms of reputation and attracting bright, new, great lawyers to the law firm. I'm very pleased to be here. I mean, in terms of my law firm family, there are a lot of them here. I got to pay particular recognition to my executive assistant, Michelle Reese Parker, and to my law partner, Joe Passaic, who basically made most of these people come up and give money. And they really have been very helpful and very generous in terms of tonight. The outlook for Washington and for us is unlimited. And so we basically have to thank the Washington community for giving us 50 years of growth, 50 years of success, and 50 years of future, we hope. There's some interesting things about tonight. My Maryland guys, I'm delighted to see Chris Van Hollen. Where's our controller? He's here somewhere. And Steny Hoyer. Steny and I were classmates in law school. We won't go into that. But we have known each other for a good long time. And it's very, very nice to see them. My favorite person tonight, seen, was the head waiter and maitre d' of this place, who's been here for 40 years. And that's Charlie Rupert. Where's Charlie? He's somewhere. Charlie Ragusa. I started coming here with Cokie as kids for the Louisiana Ball. Cokie was queen back in 1950. 60, oh. Well, I got to apologize. My wife was queen in 1957. And Charlie's been here running this place. And Charlie, you're a terrific guy. Thank you very much. And my favorite person in this room is Billie Holiday, who basically started the Women's Gallery and has done a spectacular job with the Women's Gallery. And there's nobody in Washington who's done more for the city and done more for this community than she has. So it's a great honor for me to be privileged as a business person of Washington, because lawyers, sometimes people don't think we're business people until they get the bills. But it's a very, very nice honor to be considered a leading business person of Washington. I got to tell one final story. When I went to work at Patton Boggs, it was called Patton, Blow, Vero, Bland, blah, blah, blah at the time. Joe Brand, who's my partner, who's here, and we both sort of started work in 1966 together, and we were both very young lawyers. One of my first clients was the Washingtonian. Not because of me. Jim Patton and Locke Phillips were very good friends. You know, some people in the room remember Locke started the magazine. And my job was to basically worry about postal rates. Because in those days, you know, the only way you got communications was through the mail. There was no such thing as anything else. Now, forget about the mail. But anyway, so my job was really working on postal rates. I had known, sort of in the Kennedy campaign and what have you, a guy named Tim May. And Tim was the general counsel of the post office. So I started working with Tim and got to know him very well. And the result of that was Tim became a partner of ours and probably one of our most distinguished partners, and was responsible for what I was just telling you about, and that is our pro bono program. So the Washingtonian is very close to the Patton Boggs family. So thank you guys very much.
And I just need to say one more thing. When I was recognizing Tommy's partners, I didn't recognize his most important partner. This has been an evening about family. And his son, Doug Boggs, is his partner. And he's here with his wife, Nina Boggs, tonight as well.
Congrats to Tom Boggs. A lot of people, as you know Tom Boggs. So this was tough. It was surprising how very few of them wanted to tell me anything about him. Partners at the firm were very tight with information. One of my best buddies is a partner at that firm, introduced me to my wife, had nothing, couldn't get any dirt on him, so I had to go the family route. Tom has 8 grandkids. Andrew, as you heard, his oldest is here tonight, just graduated from Georgetown in May. Congrats, Andrew. The grandkids call him Tom Tom, his wife Barbara Bar. Tom loves spending time at their home on the Eastern Shore, teaching the grandkids how to hunt and fish, I assume with a rod and a reel. That's all I had. I didn't really have a lot. They didn't give me anything. Okay. For our final presentation of the evening, I give you the presenting duo of Ambassador Alfred Moses, co-founder, senior partner, and chief strategy office of the Promontory Financial Group, and Miss Janaya Norval.
final laureate, Ron Paul, helped found a community bank that is now worth $3 billion. Something tells me he can make our $2 allowance really work. Mr. Paul, you and I need to talk. To introduce Mr. Paul, here is Mr. Alfred Moses.
Ron, I don't think you want to talk to Janai. I think she's liable to outgun you. You'll be paying her $2 a week allowance for a long, long time, and with inflation, who knows? I attended the 1988 Democratic Convention, and after Bill Clinton spoke for what seemed like 3 hours, people started to leave, and by midnight, everyone had left, except one or two persons, one of whom was a friend of mine, a congressman. He gave a speech, and he gave it to a television camera, and people in his district thought he was speaking at the Democratic National Convention. There was only one person who stayed while he spoke, and he was so thankful that person stayed that after he finished his speech, he went down from the podium, went over to the gentleman and said, "It's wonderful you stayed to hear me speak. Why did you stay?" And he said, "I'm the next speaker." You may be wondering to yourselves, but I'm thankful you're here. Our laureate this evening is not Ron Paul, the Libertarian congressman from Texas, but Ron Paul, the banker, the outstanding community banker in Washington. And you may be asking yourselves, why are we honoring our Ron Paul rather than their Ron Paul? And the answer is simple. Their Ron Paul lost. Ours didn't. He is still the chairman and CEO of Eagle Bank. My first meeting with Ron Paul was at the Federal Reserve. The then bank-to-be was applying for permission from the Federal Reserve for a national charter as a holding company. And Ron's then partner, Len Abel, who some of you no doubt knew, thought that I knew something about banking. He was right. I went into the meeting with Ron and Len, and Ron and Len did all the talking. I said nothing, and they got approval from the Fed. And it's gone from there to greater and greater success. From what was then but an acorn is now an oak tree. The roots are firm, the branches are flourishing, 17 when I last looked, and thousands of persons who've borrowed money from Eagle Bank in this community, which has helped build this community. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Many of those persons, either voluntarily or because Ron encouraged them, are also depositors. And for the life of a bank, that's its blood. Ron has been a great contributing force to this community. You heard of Giuseppe when he came here in 1960 from Milan. Ron came here just a few years later from the Bronx. He's become a good citizen of Washington and the bigger community. He still has some lingering Bronx hangovers. I'm told he's a Giants fan, but I'm sure it won't hurt him in this community. Ron has been a success, but he's brought along hundreds of others to be part of that success. He's become the major local banker. No small achievement. Just this week, the American Banker, it's a magazine, it is to bankers what Sports Illustrated is to you. And the American Banker named Ron one of the 3 most successful community bankers in our country. lest you think otherwise, that is not a small achievement. It's like the Redskins winning the Super Bowl. Ron, you have a lot to look forward to. Ron is a successful banker, is a builder of this community. In Washington, if you were to ask Harry Truman, where do I go to get a friend? He wouldn't send you to a banker. He'd say, get a dog. But the fact is, Ron Paul is an outstanding banker and a true friend, someone I admire greatly. And I'm delighted this evening you are admiring him as well and giving him the honor of being inducted into your Hall of Fame. I'll leave you with just one secret. When I was younger, and there was a time when I was younger, I dreamt of being a Major League Baseball player, but never in my wildest dreams did I think of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Ron has succeeded, and you'll now see a film that will tell you why. Thank you so much.
I wake up every morning with a real desire to make it a successful day. Success is many, many different definitions, but the desire that I have to be able to continue the goals and objectives that I set out for, whether it's the bank or the real estate business, that really keeps me going every day. I grew up in Oceanside on Long Island in New York, and spent my whole life there until high school when I went to University of Maryland. I have a very, very close family, a large family, one of 4 children. My dad has always been my role model. My dad was very passionate about whatever he did. My dad really was extremely committed to his job and to his family. He worked 2 jobs, so he really made it happen, never complained. He just was very passionate in everything he did and believed in. My first job was back when I was 11 years old. Well, that was after I delivered newspapers like everybody did. But I was promoted. When I was 11 years old, I was promoted to a stationery store, which is where we used to stuff the newspapers. So that was a big promotion for me. When I was in high school, I had the opportunity to take an accounting class and loved the accounting class, loved how we were able to apply the accounting side to the real world, and ultimately decided that I wanted to become an accounting major. Majored in accounting at University of Maryland, and really, really enjoyed it. Approximately 20 years ago, I realized that there's a tremendous void in going back to the relationship side. And having experienced the volatility in the real estate business of being able to borrow money when you really don't need the money and not being able to borrow money when you do need the money, I really felt strongly that there was an opportunity in the Washington metropolitan area to develop a bank that was really about relationships and consistency. And I, along with 4 other individuals, started Eagle Bank. And the concept behind Eagle Bank was, regardless of the size, be able to maintain the passion that we would always be there for the borrower when they needed it during good times and bad times, again, based on that relationship. Eagle Bank at $3 billion still deals with very, very small size borrowers. We've grown, as I say, 24% in our loan portfolio. My most proud accomplishment is the relationship that I've built with my entire family. I have 2 wonderful children, now a wonderful son-in-law, and having the relationship that I have with Joy is just so important to me. The relationship I have with my dad and my nieces and nephews, my siblings, is really the defining point of who I am. My passion is building relationships with all people. I regularly go out to lunch with new employees at the bank because I want to be able to understand what their goals and objectives are. Regularly speak with our senior management and have a wonderful, wonderful relationship with the senior management, both in the real estate industry and in the bank. Talk about relationships, that I'm a double recipient of a kidney transplant. The first transplant that I received was donated by my brother, and the second transplant I received was donated by the chief financial officer of my real estate company. So you want to talk about building relationships, there's nothing more important than that.
This was a mistake, standing on this side. Thank you, Al, for the special introduction. Over the past 20-plus years, you've been a mentor, advisor, and most importantly, a dear friend. I also want to thank Junior Achievement, the Greater Washington Board of Trade, and Washingtonian for this terrific honor. I'm honored to be receiving this award with my fellow inductees, Giuseppe, John, Chirito, and Tommy, and congratulate all of them. It's surreal to be looking out in the audience and seeing my now fellow laureates, and to be included in such an impressive group, especially my partner, cohort in crime, and dear friend, Bob Pincus. Just between us, not to go any further, there's an unknown secret in the real estate community that I was the driving force in now my fellow laureate's success, Ted Lerner, when in 1977, I was his bookkeeper at the White Flint Eatery. They say you're judged by the company you keep. I'm so blessed to work with some of the finest, smartest, most well-respected individuals in both my real estate company and Eagle Bank. Without these fine people, I wouldn't be receiving this great honor. A special thanks to my family, and especially to my wife, Joy, who has unconditionally supported and encouraged me over the past 33 years. We need to look ahead and be working every day towards building our future. Whether in business or assisting in our community, we should be waking up every morning, laying the groundwork for tomorrow. Nothing is more important than the future of our children. When touring Finance Park, I was totally mesmerized by what Junior Achievement has built for our children. To be educating those in middle school on the principles of budgeting, career exploration, economic options in a fun, hands-on way was just fascinating and inspirational. I hope you all take the time to visit Finance Park and encourage all of your county and city school districts to work with Junior Achievement to start this such needed program. By the way, I couldn't have expressed it better than what Giuseppe said about the passion and vision and commitment that children should have in their growing up and starting their work. However, I do want to add, I'm not encouraging it, but if you do get into any debt, Eagle Bank is here to help you. On behalf of Junior Achievement, I thank you all for being here tonight. During these most difficult times, please remember what Winston Churchill said, and I tried to live my life by every day. We make a living by what we get. However, we make a life by what we give. Once again, thank you for this great honor. I accept this award in memory of my long mentor, my dad, who fought so hard to be here tonight and lost that fight exactly 2 months ago tonight. Thank you again.
Very nicely done. All right, a final little nugget for the evening. Ron's favorite vacation spot, Deep Creek Lake. One source told us that Ron took his father, late father, and brother-in-law out on a boat one time to get some ice cream. Ron tried to dock at a difficult dock several times, fell into the water. Wallet, phone, the whole deal. After climbing about 1,000 steps, they finally made to get that ice cream. They finally got there, only to see the brother-in-law slip and fall in the water. So maybe next time, bring some snacks, Ron. Ladies and gentlemen, now to cap off the night, please enjoy this final musical number while viewing this inspirational look back at the past 25 years of Washington Business Hall of Fame.
a turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and the still frames in your minds. Hang it on a shelf and good out that good time. Tattoos and memories and tales get on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Yeah. Nicely done. Very nice. What's your name?
Davis Castillo.
You have a big future, sir.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the 25th Annual Washington Business Hall of Fame. It's been an honor for me to be your MC tonight. Thank you very much. Have a great night, and we will see you next year.